I love a frame bag. It is basically something I have on my bike all the time. Minus right now because I'm gonna shoot a video and show you, but I always have a frame bag on my bike, but there are definitely things I wish I had known before I had bought one. So this is the first frame bag I ever bought. It's a custom frame bag from Panda Designs, and I've bought this for my Surly Bridge Club. I absolutely love it. I have used this now for about 5 years, and I have basically always kept it on my bike. It has been an absolute staple. But there are some things I wish I had known before I bought / designed this. So when I was first looking at buying a frame bag, I wanted to maximize the space as much as I possibly could. And so that is actually why I went the custom route, is because I wanted it to exactly fit the triangle of my bike. Now, this is fantastic because I can fit so much in here. This, I think, is about 7 liters almost, which is a ton of space on a bike. Size and depth of this is actually sometimes a disadvantage. When I have this thing full and there's tons of little things in it, I usually put my bike tools and that kind of stuff in here. It is almost impossible to find things. You are kind of constantly going in and digging around and trying to find things at the bottom of the bag, which I think is why we're starting to see so many of the 2-tier level frame bags, so that there's less depth for things to get lost. And I really wish that this had 2 tiers. Another thing is that, yes, it's a big space, but it is actually somewhat hard to fill well. And fill well so that it's not bulging in weird ways that while you're cycling, it's bumping into you and kind of aggravating the inside of your leg. You know, I have to be very specific about the things I put in here. You know, clothing is very easy to like mold and fit in here, versus things like, you know, putting like cans of food or my electronics, things that are sort of like bulky and hard, don't fit in here very well. And heavy items tend to sink, so I often find I don't actually use all of the space. I do think a lot of those issues would be fixed if it was a 2-tier bag though. And so I think if you are actually going to spend the money and buy a custom bag, I would definitely recommend getting one with 2 tiers so that you can actually utilize the space to its maximum capacity and you're not struggling to find things inside of it. Another small issue with getting sort of a full custom frame bag is that then you do not have any water bottle cages in your frame. Now, at the time when I first started biking, I only used Nalgene's and I hadn't learned to love, you know, a squeeze water bottle so I could drink on the go. I would stop, I would take my Nalgene off of one of my front fork cages, and that is how I would drink water. But I'm always trying to eat and hydrate while I cycle, and so having a place for water is really important. One of the things I have tried with this is putting in my hiking water bladder and then actually running it through the end of the bag. Unfortunately, the water bladder ends up sort of falling into the bottom. I don't have enough actual hose to drink from it. I know there are some water bladders that are specifically designed to go in frame bags, and those might be better, and then you'd be able to carry a lot of water in your frame and still access it while you're actually biking. Something that I absolutely love about this bag is that it is waterproof. I have this on no matter what, no matter where I'm going, and I feel very comfortable putting, you know, my dry clothing in here, and I've never had an issue with water getting into this bag. So that is definitely something, and I'll get to it when I show you my new frame bag, that I think is a must. Is having something that is waterproof is huge. Okay, so this is kind of just turning into a bit of a rogue Panda frame bag review. The quality of, just so we're clear, the quality of this bag is awesome. This is over 5 years old now. I've taken this on so many bike packing trips. This never leaves my bike unless I'm washing it. It's been awesome. One of the things I think I would do differently is these buckles. So I have these buckles that basically close the bag, and I mean, one thing that's great about this in comparison to zippers is that, like, if this is a little big, like a little stuffed, I don't have any problem closing it. But I do think it's a little annoying, especially if I'm actually cycling and like I want to access maybe like some snacks or something. It's really difficult. I chose the buckles because I thought they would last longer, and that might be true. You know, if I had gotten zippers, I might have run into some issues, but ends up making it something that I can only access if I'm stopped and I'm off my bike. And I think it would be nice to have something that I could access while I'm actually cycling. I end up playing this game where I kind of have to like wiggle my hand in while I'm biking, you know, and now I'm biking with one hand, and it's hard to find things already. That makes it a little bit difficult. Okay, the last thing that I wish I had done, if I could reorder this, is the attachment points. So this bag is just these Velcro guys. It's great for being able to take it on and off really quickly. It's super fast to put this on and off, but it's not on perfectly. It'll sort of rub against the inside of my leg. Knowing that I keep this on my bike all the time, I think I would go for sort of the lace options. I know that those take a lot longer to put on, but they are much sort of cleaner, and I don't think there's a chance that Velcro is going to kind of come off a little bit and then start rubbing on things, and I do think it would be better. But now I have my new bike, which is a cross-country mountain bike, and has a different frame size, so I couldn't just use that bag, and I had to get something else. I blew my budget on the actual bike and had to go sort of the cheap and quick route, which means I couldn't get something that was going to actually fit the whole frame, and I opted for a half frame bag. So this is the half frame bag that I have for my hardtail mountain bike. I think this was like $30 on Amazon. It's by no means the same quality as the Rogue Panda Design. This one's a Rhinowalk. It has worked okay now. I've had this for a few months and it is sufficient. But using this bag has kind of made me realize the issues with my full frame Rogue Panda bag. One, that it's much easier to find things because it's just this much space. You can see to the bottom, you can reach to the bottom. Obviously I can't put as much stuff in here, but I don't lose things in it, specifically like tiny little tools and those kinds of things. Second, I can access things while I'm actually biking because it's got zippers. And then I actually have the ability to put water bottle cages in my frame, and I can sort of drink while I'm biking, which has been awesome. I love that, and I honestly think I can't go back. Big downside of this is that it is not waterproof. Nothing I put in here can be anything that needs to be waterproof. I have really just put sort of maintenance stuff in here for the bike, and snacks that are sealed is sort of what goes in here. If you are looking for a cheap alternative, this has worked pretty well. I wouldn't say it's like fantastic, but it has gotten the job done. I'm not giving this stellar reviews for quality like I would the Rogue Panda Design bag, but it works. This one also uses Velcro to attach it, so again, nice and easy to put on, but definitely annoying. Lucky for me, the way that my new bike fits me, I'm a little farther away from sort of these buckles irritating my leg like I was with the Surly. That has been a help.
Here's the Rogue Panda Design on my bike. As you can see, this fills the space perfectly, and you can store around 6 liters depending on how it is filled. Now the frame area of my Surly is around 8% larger than my hardtail, but here's the half frame bag on my hardtail. I can carry 4.2 liters, including the 1.5 liters from my water bottles, making this around 30% less efficient in terms of storage capacity. If you are concerned about carrying capacity for bike packing trips, this might be an issue. But I did take my half frame bag on an overnighter and have a 9-day bike packing trip planned, and it doesn't seem like an issue. So long as you can carry things in other bags and get creative with maybe a down tube bag and front fork bags.
So these are the 2 frame bags I've used. I feel like I've kind of learned some lessons on what I would want out of an ideal frame bag. At some point I would love to upgrade this and have a full frame bag for my hardtail mountain bike. If I go that route, I would definitely go with a Rogue Panda Design again. The quality is awesome. I would instead opt for lace mounting. I would make it a 2-tier design with zippers so that I can access things while I'm cycling. And I would probably find a water bladder that fits in it well. That is what I have sort of learnt about frame bags over the last 5 or so years of cycling, and I hope that helps you if you are deciding on sort of spending the money and getting something that is custom and fits your bag, or you are just looking for some other ways of carrying things on your bike. I hope it helps.